guys, ViscosComb24 here, bringing you a real quick redstone video. So as you can probably tell by the title, I'm going to be showing you some of the differences between Java Edition Redstone and Bedrock Edition Redstone. Now this is really more bare bones. I could get more technical, but as a door maker, I don't really deal with the technical stuff well and don't feel I would do it justice. So if you are looking for more technical stuff, I would suggest looking it up. There are some really smart people out there who look deeper into the mechanics. So, as you can probably tell by the title, I've already said this. Differences. So, in this video, I'll be covering only three things that Bedrock Edition doesn't have that Java has, and then a handful more things that Bedrock Edition has that Java doesn't have. The reason for this is, I don't actually know all the stuff on Java Edition because I can't really experiment with it that much. I don't own a PC. But obviously, I do have Bedrock Edition on my phone, so I can in fact test Bedrock Edition. So, first thing, one difference, and something that Bedrock Edition doesn't have, is sticky pistons do not spit out their blocks. A sticky piston will always retract its block no matter what. You cannot get a sticky piston to leave its block behind. Second thing that Bedrock Edition doesn't have that Java has is quasi-connectivity. So on Java Edition, if I were to give this piston a block update, it would be extending right now, and heck, it wouldn't even need a block update normally because this repeater would just be powering it. Because quasi-connectivity isn't a thing on Bedrock Edition, this piston isn't being powered by either of these. So, because of this lack of quasi-connectivity, you actually will find it difficult to create a conventional bud switch. Usually on Java Edition, if I were to just have this right here, this alone would be a block update detector, a bud. Piston would be powered but not realizing it, and would be waiting for a block update. That's not a thing. So, as I've shown in some of my other videos, well, one of my other videos, you can still make block update detectors. They're just strange and require a lot of explaining. Now, those are the things that Bedrock Edition doesn't have that Java has. Now, here are a few of the things that Bedrock Edition has that Java doesn't have. So first off, and this one I don't believe is all that well known, something that the community calls soft inversion. So the idea of soft inversion is you have a torch on a piston, and if the piston is powered in any way, the torch will turn off. And I mean any way. As you can see, it's soft powering, strong powering, all the different types of powering. If the piston is being powered, the torch will turn off. So, sort of on the topic of placing things on top of and on the sides of pistons, so you can see here, you can place all different kinds of redstone components on the sides and tops of pistons. For example, you can place a torch on the side of a piston. You can also place signs and item frames, just to name a few, as well as buttons and tripwire hooks. Basically, so long as you're not placing it on the extending side of the piston, it won't be broken when it extends or retracts. So, moving on. This is something that others may not see as too huge of an advantage, but it can actually be really fun to work with. You can waterlog rails, things like repeaters and comparators, which, by the way, as you can see, it's just slid over the repeater and comparator, as though they were just lying on the floor. And you can also waterlog pistons. So if I just really quickly get rid of all the water, there are a few things to note. First off, while water will run through things like comparators and repeaters, it will not run through rails. In fact, it will actually break rails, as you can see here. So, something to keep in mind, flowing water will break rails, but water source blocks will not break rails. It'll waterlog them. And somewhat similar goes for the piston. As you can see, the water will not pass through the piston, and it will go around the piston. Yep. You have to directly waterlog a piston in order to get water going through it. This actually can allow for some really interesting and fun underwater builds. Now, moving on to something that is better known. You can move tile entities, so any container you can move. This includes things like furnaces, dispensers, hoppers, droppers, chests, trap chests, the whole lot. And this can be an advantage because, say, if this chest were full and I were to push it into this comparator, I'd be able to get a signal strength of 15 coming out of this comparator. It's a movable, adjustable signal strength block that can be adjusted up to 15, which is a big advantage. Now over here, something less known, I believe, is that glass on Java Edition and Bedrock Edition acts differently. So as you can see, it goes up. This is the same for both versions, I believe. But something that Bedrock Edition has that Java Edition doesn't is this. The wire will also go down the glass block. On Java Edition, glass acts as a slab. Redstone can go up, but it can't go down. On Java Edition, glass acts as a slab. On Bedrock Edition, it acts as a block. But the huge advantage to this is it is a transparent block. So you can run redstone up and down it in a tower, just like so. So say I wanted to get a redstone signal up like this, I can do that. But say I also wanted to go send a redstone signal down, I can do that as well. And of course, if you don't want it to go down, you can just simply switch it out for slabs. Another thing to note is on Java Edition, observers are also treated as transparent blocks but act like slabs. On Bedrock Edition, they act like glass in that redstone can go both up and down, as well as through. And now the final difference is that Bedrock Edition redstone runs on a random tick update order. So as you can see, if I were to flick this lever a lot of times, you will find it quite impossible to gauge which piston will extend. This is a very specific scenario, yes, but it does actually affect things on a larger scale as well. And I found that it really only affects pistons. Repeaters aren't exactly all that affected by this randomness. In fact, repeaters seem to be 100% reliable. It's just that once you start getting in things like pistons and observers, things start getting quite unreliable. So that's just something to keep in mind whenever you're doing redstone. So yeah, that's it. Those are all the differences that I know of, or at least I do know a few more, but I'm not going to be getting into them because quite a few of them are a bit more technical than I am, mentally, so I don't believe I would be able to do them justice. And if you know of any more basic ones that I left out, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, I hope this video was informative. I'm ViscosComb24, and I'll see you next time. And now it is yet again that time where I have to cuss. Fuck. Alright, now, Cup, can't get me, bye.